Honorable Speakers of Parliament, my name is Xiye Bastida and I'm a 19-year-old climate justice activist. At this point in time, you have probably heard many speeches about the case for implementing climate solutions and stopping the emissions of CO2. There are very few things that I can say that you haven't already heard. The reason why I'm here is because for too long, there has been an emotional and ethical disconnect in international relations and policy. We have been taught that feelings and emotions should not be included in decision making. In my opinion, that thinking is flawed because the world is made up of emotions and stories of people who are directly affected by the decisions that are made by politicians. What we need is to be more cognizant of the effects that policy actually has on people's lives. We will only get to that level of understanding by listening and sympathizing with each other. When I was 13 years old, I saw the effects of the climate crisis in my hometown in Mexico. First, the effects of pollution and mega projects, then, in 2015, the effects of flooding. I was raised with an indigenous philosophy, which states that our relationship with Mother Earth must be one of reciprocity and care. But every single system around me was pointing the other way. As we speak, there are parts of the world suffering from heat waves, wildfires, flooding, hurricanes, and air pollution, all while the world aims to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. A year ago, you made a commitment to strengthen international cooperation, solidarity, and multilateral action, not only to lead the world out of the pandemic, but also to transform it for the better and to improve resilience in terms of the climate crisis. You underscored the critical importance of multilateralism and international solidarity in addressing the daunting socioeconomic challenges of our time. You noted that the recovery must be sustainable and green, as well as incorporating innovative solutions to the climate crisis. I am here to remind you yet again that we do this work as youth activists because every single degree of warming has enormous ramifications on our present and future stability, security, and prosperity. Our current infrastructure and policy shows we are not ready for the crisis that we are encountering, both the COVID-19 pandemic and the climate crisis. I am here to remind you that we do this work to influence people who have influence, who have decision-making power like you. We are here to remind you that the climate crisis is generational injustice, and you have the power to create and implement smart, just, and holistic legislation. If parliamentarians are gathered here today to say, we can do this, we can shift current trends and ensure to the world population a just transition out of the pandemic in a context of sustainability, we, the youth, would say we would support that thinking and that legislation. I can't change the world, but you can. Imagine a world where we stop fossil fuel investments and subsidies, where we stop any new fossil fuel infrastructure and focus on renewable energy, where we implement intersectional climate education, including literacy on climate justice, environmental racism, ancestral wisdom, and indigenous wisdom, where we operate as a collective that doesn't put the global south in danger every time a decision is made, where we get to net zero emissions by 2030, where we protect the right of youth to grow up without climate trauma, where we uphold our Paris Agreement promises, where we stay below 1.5 degrees of warming. I call upon you, honorable speakers of parliament, to use all the might of your agency to have laws enforced and measures taken to ensure a future that is not only just and equitable, but also less ferocious and greedy, less individualistic and egotistic, less demanding of luxurious goods and services. On the other hand, more empathetic with the most vulnerable, as well as much more tuned in with nature and her own needs. We, the youth, will be counting on you every minute because there is no minute to lose. And as we face the pandemic crisis and the climate crisis, I believe that together we can definitely help not only regenerate the social fabric, but the fragile and beautiful mosaic of world's ecosystem that holds life systems together. Thank you.